here we are. It's a few days later. Here's Mr. Mew again on his towel. This morning was a big progress. He actually crawled. He was left over here to eat his breakfast. He crawled himself from there, way over there, to his litter box. He tried to climb inside, but he couldn't quite make it, so he kind of had an accident on the floor. But we're going to be getting him a new litter box, one with a very low height. From here, however, he crawled back to his blanket, where he is right now. And then from there, this is amazing, he crawled all the way through here. I don't know how well you can see that. All the way over to here, and he started meowing at me right here next to the bed, which is probably, I don't know how many feet that is, maybe 25 feet or so, maybe more. Yeah, that's a long way for a cat in his condition, and that's quite a bit of progress. So he's been moving around quite a bit. He's actually getting up on his hocks in the back, and he walks on his hocks in the back, and in the front he uses his elbows. Okay, he's already started crawling in anticipation of his dinner. He gets himself up pretty good now. Okay, and we'll put his dinner down. And he will get to it. That's how he works. But he does it, and that's a lot of progress compared to considering 2.5 months ago, this cat was flat out on his side and couldn't move at all. So he's doing much better. Okay, it's been a little while since I last made a tape. And the reason for that is because we didn't seem to be getting much better. But actually, we seem to have a little regression in Mr. Mew's progress. I don't know why, but he is starting to have trouble walking again. He's not moving around as much. And I've noticed some pain that he's been having, mostly in his tail, the lower back of his spine, and in his back end. The tail and spine seem to be very sensitive to touch. I've been doing some research. I haven't really found too many cases that are documented with cats, but I have found some human diabetic sites where it talks about what is called peripheral neuropathy, that causes numbness and tingling, as well as pain and sensitivity to even light touch in certain areas. And I'm wondering if that's quite possibly what is going on in Mr. Mew's case. He's still in pretty good spirits. He's purring. I don't know if you can hear that. He is purring. His front legs have started to straighten out a little bit, and although because of the back legs having a little bit more of a problem now getting him moving, he's not using his front legs very much, but he was actually starting to get up on this part of his legs rather than only on his elbows. So he is actually starting to straighten them out a bit more, and they're working as far as, you know, the sensation seems to be there. He seems to know where they are, and he can pull them back. He has a good reflex, good response. His back feet, however, I have noticed in the regression that his toes, when pulled back, don't have a very good reaction time. His feet are a little bit cold, which is another symptom that I read could be a sign of peripheral neuropathy. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a lot of research as far as cats are concerned in this. So I'm not really sure what to do other than hoping that everything I'm doing will help him. His tail is very sensitive, which, since it's an extension of the spine, and he seems to be very sensitive in the lower spine. I'm just going to touch him a little here. Just a little on his spine. He doesn't really like that very much, but he is still purring. He's jerking when I touch his tail even lightly. Seems to be a little better today. Yesterday I couldn't even touch him back here without him crying out. He jerks a little bit every time I just touch him even lightly on the spine or on the tail. But that's better than yesterday when he was crying out at just a slight touch. So I did have to give him an enema yesterday because once again he hasn't been moving much. And the less he moves, the less he's able to have normal system function and bowel movements, unfortunately. But we were quite successful with that, so I think he's feeling a lot better today in other areas. I'm going to do more research and start looking towards possibly some human therapies and medications, and see if I can find something that might help him and might work with him. Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to find any vets or anybody who knows much more than what I've already learned. His case is the most severe I've ever heard of or seen. So I'm going to continue researching at least the human neuropathy and see if I can find something that might help him as well. We're trying to do the best we can. He's a very good cat, and he deserves to have all the best treatments and everything that I can give him. Unfortunately, financially, we're not very good financially, but we're doing the best that we can. So hopefully we can get him back on the road to recovery. Shortly after that video was made, unfortunately, Mr. Mew started to go downhill quite quickly. So he had stopped eating. He couldn't move anymore, and he stopped eating. So we had to have him put down. I tried really hard to get him to get better. I really wanted him to get better. I did what I could, and sometimes I feel like I failed him. But we're not really sure what happened, if he had a stroke or... but there was definitely something happened that, besides his diabetes, they think maybe he threw a blood clot and had a stroke. So I hope he's in a good place, and I really do miss him.